Welcome to the 7th episode of the TalkinTwenties Pod. I'm your co-host Dan, and this is Joe. And to get us started today, I want to talk about some recent news in the recruiting world of Jacoby Lane from USC posted a picture where a recruit took about 10 to 20 items out of his locker. Thoughts?
Was it on a visit, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Oh, first of all, I think it's, obviously the recruits have to go check out the locker room. But to do that while, the player's stuff is in there, especially if it's not locked up in the like safes that they have, that's ridiculous that he would actually go in there and take it. Second of all, do they not have a coach or maybe like a recruiter in there with them to make sure stuff doesn't get stolen? That's ridiculous.
It is, but see, I worked in that space for a little while. And you know what? The person I used to work for, he said, let the recruits take stuff.
Let them take stuff?
He used to encourage the players to give away their stuff.
Wait, like the players give them it or the recruits just take whatever they want?
Well, players give. I used to see recruits take cleats off of men. Game-worn cleats, taking
crazy.
sweaty
I would never
cleats,
do that.
headbands, wristbands.
That's ridiculous.
And you know what? It was crazy because, it made more work on the support staff, but the recruits were happy. Shoot, I had a little kid. I was part of the support staff. I had a little kid try to take my hat after a game.
Did you let him?
No, it had sweat stains all over. And you know what? Here's another thing about the Jacoby Lane thing. Jacoby Lane's their star wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
And, people might say, oh, they can just give him more of the gear. But some things, hey, you get them once, you don't get them again. What if one of that gear was a bowl game item,
Yeah, it might have been. Or, see, to me, it's just the intent behind it. He went in there and stole it. It wasn't like Jacoby Lane gifted it to him. He took it from his locker. That ain't right.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a recruit or actually one of Lane's teammates at USC that was giving it to that recruit. But either way, it's a bad look.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, it's crazy because you're supposed to have football as a brotherhood. You're supposed to have trust in that locker room.
And you know what? That's not even the first time something like that has happened. We've seen, cases of jewelry, phones, jerseys being taken from the locker room post-game, pre-game, on visits. We've seen it all. I think, what was it, like 3 years ago? Maybe it was Deion Sanders.
Oh yeah.
He got like what 4 or 5 chains taken from his locker room or from his office during one of the games. Ridiculous.
Yeah. And for Lane, back to the USC and Lane thing, you might say, okay, he's a star. He's going to make the NFL. What does he care about the USC gear? But 2-3 years down the line, when he's not in college anymore, he might be able to go and get a T-shirt because he made it to the league. He's a big time player, but it might not be that T-shirt.
Yeah.
And right now, he's still a kid. That shirt matters. He worked for that shirt. He worked hard his whole life for that.
I think it's just the intent behind it of just stealing it.
I agree. As a society, we need to come together and be one and start supporting one another instead of taking from one another.
I agree. So now moving on to the next topic, the Winter Olympics just wrapped up. The United States had a handful of gold medal winners, but in specific, more recently, I would say notably, the U.S. men's and women's hockey team both took home gold in overtime, the golden goal against Canada. It was a electric scene in both games, came down to the final goal, just legendary. So shout out to the men and women's teams.
Yeah, very much so. Congratulations to both teams. Very impressive from the U.S. And they both beat Canada, I would like to add.
Oh, yeah.
After the Four Nations, when Canada beat U.S. in the men's realm, it was a little hard, for the players. But hey, Olympics matters more than that.
Oh, yeah, I'd much rather have a gold medal than that.
So for both men and women, you could say, hey, hockey runs through the U.S.
Easily. This is our sport. We want to give a special shout out to the goalie for the men's side, Hellebuck. Hell of a game. He clearly the MVP of the game. I think they gave it to, I don't know who they gave the MVP to, but if they didn't give it to him, it should have been him. He had just tremendous, he saved pretty much every shot. He only allowed one goal. Insane effort by Hellebuck.
Yeah. And, congratulations to both teams. I wasn't able to catch much of any of the game, but I will say the scheduling by the Olympics was a little rough, I feel like, because I don't know about the women's game, but the men's game was a Sunday morning at 5 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, especially because, both countries, the United States and Canada, they're pretty much the same time zones. They're, right next to each other. So it's ridiculous that they had it at 5 a.m. Pacific time. Just terrible scheduling by the Winter Olympic staff in Italy.
Yeah. Now, maybe it's probably better for them time-wise, but to not predict, I mean, Canada and U.S. have always been known for great hockey teams.
Oh, yeah.
To not think one or either of those teams are going to be in, and now both played in the biggest game.
Yeah.
It's a little rough. And you know what? I saw the medal totals overall for the whole Olympics. Norway got first. Congrats to Norway.
It makes sense. They're a majority, I would say like snowy country. They pretty much live in the snow, I would say.
Yeah, it's the Winter Games.
Yeah, so, it makes sense that they would do as good as they did, got number one. But, hey, just wait till the Summer Olympics in 2028. The U.S. will come back for that top title spot.
Well, the U.S. got second.
Yeah.
So they had a good showing, too. But yeah.
Hey, as the old saying goes, if you're not first, you're last.
That is true. You know who was first? Alyssa Liu.
Oh, yeah, straight out of Oakland, California. Shout out to her. I didn't follow figure skating too much prior to this, but, she put me on. She made me a fan. So, shout out to Alyssa Liu.
Yeah, I agree, too. She put me on, and my whole For You page is just filled with different clips of her. And you know what? It takes a ton of talent, balance, skills, strength, all the above. I could never even go on ice skating, whether or not just to walk on it. I could only imagine doing routines.
Doing all the twirls. And
yeah.
It's a very underrated sport. Takes a lot of talent, a lot of, coordination.
Time, choreography, all of it.
Shout out to her and, the fellow skaters that won, the fellow Olympians that won gold.
And I enjoyed the songs that she did her.
Oh, yeah, she had some great songs.
Yeah, great songs, emotional songs.
Yeah, no, they were good.
So, shout out to all the Olympians that competed. Once again, it's a lifelong goal, dream. To those of you who medaled, even bigger congrats and enjoy it for life. Moving right along, for the next topic, I'll talk about Fernando Mendoza. I just got to come out and say it. Mendoza's not that guy. Thoughts?
You don't think he's that guy after winning the Heisman, after winning the national championship, after being the best quarterback in college football this season? You don't think he's the guy?
See, I think he's a great player. I could see him having a Kirk Cousins type career where he's a good quarterback, but he's not no Stafford or Brady.
See, I agree. He doesn't have, Stafford is, a generational arm talent. I'll give him that, He's not going to be a Rodgers or Stafford or Mahomes or Brady. I can agree with that. However, I don't think he needs to be. I think if you put him in the right system, he's a smart enough player to where he can adapt and make all his reads. He'll make the throws he has to. He doesn't have to make, crazy throw on the runs. He doesn't have to replicate what Mahomes did in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers, where he's laying down, throwing the ball. He doesn't have to do all that. As long as he has a good system around him. Granted, he probably will go to the Raiders, so we'll see how his career pans out there. But I think Mendoza, if he, gets in the right situation, he'll have great success, just like Sam Darnold has.
Well, that's what I said. He's a Kirk Cousins type. Kirk Cousins had some great years in Minnesota.
No Super Bowls to show for it.
Hey, a lot of quarterbacks didn't win Super Bowls, and they're still good quarterbacks.
But not great. I think Mendoza, if he's put in a solid situation, he'll be great. I'm talking about easily 3 Super Bowls.
He needs that supporting cast around him. I will say, great kid. Seems like he's a great kid from a great family. I love the story. Nice kid, believer. But, hey, he looked a little bit pedestrian against that Miami defense.
I mean, granted, that was the best D-line in the country.
That's similar to an NFL D-line.
Yeah, but he's going to have an NFL O-line.
On the Raiders?
No, I'm not. What did I say earlier? I said he's not going to have that on the Raiders. It's not going to be a perfect situation for him. However, if he is put in the right situation, he will succeed.
That's why if I'm the Raiders, I'm trading out of that number 1 spot. I'm going to get some capital. I don't know why they're keeping Crosby, keep it honest.
Yeah, it costs too much.
I would trade Crosby and get one of the edges. Get Ruben Bain, dude. He's an animal.
Dude, you can trade Crosby and completely build out your O-line, get some draft capital.
That's what I'm saying.
So, but I think you can even trade Crosby, improve your team, and keep the number 1 pick. I think it's possible.
But is Mendoza worth the number 1 pick?
I think, if you build around him.
You got to build, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Every team has to build.
But you got to think. If you take the number 1 pick, right? Let's say that, they have the number 1. if you're the Raiders, take the number 1. Let's say you trade back to 8, right? Okay, you're automatically going to get at least a player in extra draft capital, so you could get another player. So if you draft well, you would still get a top 10 player in the draft.
At what position, though?
Dude, they have needs for O-line is number 1.
I agree.
O-line's number 1.
I agree.
Wide receiver, they need help.
I agree. Even though they just traded away, a top,
I don't
30
know why
guy
they
in
gave
the
away
league.
Jacoby Myers. That was interesting.
Ridiculous.
But, hey, I'm not the GM. That's on Tom Brady to figure out with his staff. But, yeah.
Yeah, and that's another point. If Mendoza does go to the Raiders, he's going to get mentored by Tom Brady.
But Tom Brady's a sportscaster, so you can't even say that. He's
have
in
a role.
city to city every
Trust me,
week.
he'll have a role.
They would maybe talk on the phone once every 2 weeks.
Brady will get Mendoza in touch with the best quarterback coaches in the world.
You know what? I will say, though, if Mendoza does end up with the Raiders, their OC, the new head coach, the new head coach was the Seahawks OC.
Yeah.
He's a great coach. Yeah. He will put him in a spot to succeed as long as they fill those gaps. O-line should be their number 1 priority.
I agree.
You need some help on the interior for sure, and maybe even a tackle.
I agree. Trade Crosby for some draft capital and some, maybe some O-line, maybe some receivers, whatever. Just fill the gaps, draft Mendoza, and see how the season plays out. I mean, you have Brock Bowers, you have Gene T, so you got playmakers.
And you know what? Genty's a great back. Don't get me wrong. He's a great back. Once he gets to O-line, I'm excited to see what he does. But I would even be a fan of seeing them in the earlier part of the draft, maybe 4th round, go get another back.
Possibly.
That way Genty isn't just getting beat up.
Yeah.
Because we're being realistic, you can't fix your whole team within one offseason.
No, you can't, but you can make some,
Yeah, they make some strides.
You can turn into a playoff team in one season.
Yeah, I mean, the likeliness of that happening within 1 year with them, especially.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
It's a little suspect, but hey, 2 years from now, Genty's 3rd year, he's ready. You can get another back who'll be in his 2nd year or sophomore year, and you get another vet quarterback that can take over. Going back to Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't be mad if they went and got a Kirk Cousins for a year.
If they got Kirk Cousins?
For this next year to fill the gap. And then draft another cycle. Because the next quarterback cycle is better than this one.
I don't think it gets better than Mendoza.
What?
Yep.
No, I can't agree with that.
Yep.
That's a horrible
take.
take.
Arch Manning?
Arch Manning?
Arch Manning? No.
Arch
Manning, he shows his flashes of greatness against teams that they are supposed to beat up. And when he plays competition, he doesn't perform well.
Okay. You don't want Arch? Give me Dante Moore.
I'm taking Mendoza. He beat him in the head-to-head.
They beat him because the defense. Indiana's defense was probably one of the greatest defenses we've ever seen.
Mendoza still balled out that game.
I said Mendoza's a good Q. I just don't think he's number 1 worthy.
I think he is.
I would take...
What more did he have to prove to be number 1?
It's not him. I mean, it is him, but it's more like just the eye test. That game against Miami was the closest thing he'll ever get to an NFL defense. And I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. Passing-wise, until that 4th quarter when he lit it up, dude, he looked lost.
Dude, his O-line was miserable that game. Up until that game, his O-line played great. However, in that game, they got exposed, and that was his most sacked game of his career.
But see, the whole story that whole season was, the O-line's 5th and 6th year senior, so they're better than everyone else. They play smash mouth football. You know what? If it wasn't for Charlie Becker making 2 of the greatest catches we've seen in college football playoff history, they don't win that natty.
And who threw him that ball?
Balls weren't even good balls.
Who put the money on? Please.
It was way down here.
The balls were in place to where only Charlie Becker can catch it. The DB couldn't even get his hands on it. So it was either Charlie Becker's going to make a spectacular catch or the ball is going to go out of bounds and nobody's even going to touch it. That's a great ball. It's a great catch.
If anything, what I want to see the Raiders do is I think you'll see Mendoza drop. So if anything, what I would want them to do is drop back and then get Mendoza.
He won't.
1-1 is too much for him.
I don't think Mendoza will be on the table by pick 5.
It's tough because this year quarterback class is really light.
No, I don't disagree. However, I do think Mendoza is one of the better one of the best players in the draft. You can make the case that there's some, edges that could probably go.
Ruben Bain's the best player in the draft.
I don't disagree with that.
Serious.
However, they don't need an edge. The Raiders.
If you get rid of Crosby, you do.
But that doesn't,
you know what?
That doesn't fix the gaps on offense.
Ruben Bain has small arms. So you know what? He might be an edge in college, but it might be better for him to play 3-tech in the NFL.
We'll just have to see. I mean,
he's good.
We've seen players with small arms come into the league and get exposed. I mean, just look at the Super Bowl this past.
Yeah, but defense is different than offense.
Doesn't matter.
Defense is short hitting. Offense, you have to lock out a man.
If you're playing O-line, D-line, you need the length.
I'm telling you, watch when Ruben Bain becomes a Hall of Famer. You hear it first.
I'm not discrediting that. I'm just saying I think they need Mendoza more than they need Bain. It doesn't matter how
fill the gap.
No, it doesn't matter how much points the defense.
Go get Ty Simpson.
No, from Penn State,
Alabama.
Oh man, he's sorry.
He's sorry.
He's sorry.
Oh,
I watched him play.
On.
I watched him play. He's sorry.
Come on.
Yeah.
He's sorry.
He's sorry.
Look, I already said Mendoza's going to be a good guy. He'd be a Kirk Cousins type. He's going to have a good career. He's just not 1-1 to me. You got to go get Bain.
I'm taking Mendoza.
Dude, Bain is so. I'm sorry. He's just that he passed the eye test. He's balling out. The fact that they went and lost the Natty and he immediately went to play in the Senior Bowl shows character to me. If I'm a GM, hey, he should be 1-1.
I disagree.
You know, talking about other quarterbacks, what do you think about Pavia trying to make it to the league?
Pavia I think he will get drafted. Maybe late round, 5th, 6th round, maybe. But, Pavia is not a bad quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not a bad quarterback.
Yeah.
If you watch him play, he's got heart. He's a little cocky, but, Baker Mayfield is cocky. So his cockiness to me doesn't really matter. He's not a disrespectful on the field player. It's just he's a little shorter.
He is.
Which,
So is Kyler.
Yeah. So I mean, being short, I'm not going to say counts you out at all. However, it will hurt his draft stock for sure. But people who hate on Pavia, he can ball.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think you'll see Pavia be a 4th, 5th round type of guy. He'll make it. He'll be probably 3rd string somewhere to start.
Oh yeah.
But I would love to go see him in Dallas, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Pavia definitely deserves a shot somewhere. Yeah.
Let him be behind Dak. I think Dak Prescott is a great quarterback. He's great, but he gets hurt a ton.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Pavia go behind him, really 3rd string-ish, and I forget if it's Joe Milton or Trey Lance that's the 2nd string. I would love to see Pavia be the 3rd string. Get some experience, learn how to be a backup. Because you know what? At that size, most NFL teams, I would say probably 28 out of the 32, they're not going to want a 5'9" quarterback off rip.
Yeah.
Similar to a Baker or a Kyler. If you show you're a baller, see the difference with Kyler was he had. Not only did he have the arm from playing baseball, he had the foot speed too.
Yeah.
So he had that edge. So just because he was small doesn't mean it was really a hindrance.
However, Kyler was light years better than Pavia. I mean, Kyler.
Yeah.
I think Kyler.
He was in the Heisman running.
He was undefeated in high school football. I think his record was like 45-0, which is ridiculous in Texas high school football, by the way. And then if you watch his college tape, incredible. I'm not discrediting Pavia. But the only real comparison there is the height.
Yeah.
Kyler was.
It is.
Baller.
But I think I would like to see Pavia get a shot somewhere, at least as a backup.
Yeah, I think bottom line is Pavia deserves a shot.
Yeah.
For what he played, for how he played at Vandy, he definitely deserves a shot, And then at that point, it's up to him whether he makes something of it or if he fades away.
Yeah. There's always guys that the mainstream media doesn't talk about, we don't talk about, that end up having a career, some, maybe an FCS guy, D2 guy pops up, good wide receiver, good back, lineman even, Quinn Miners, D3, plays for the Broncos, all pro, has a big contract. I mean, guys come from everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
If you can ball, the league will find you. You just got to show out.
Yeah.
Now, here's a quick message from our sponsor.
Sponsor, 999 Nutrition. Triple Nine Nutrition's tactical grade pre-workout is here to get you through your workouts and everyday lifestyle. With 150 milligrams of caffeine per scoop, it'll give you that extra boost to get through your day.
Speaking of day, Triple Nine Nutrition is offering the Training Day bundle for only $49.99. In that bundle, you will receive a bag, pre-workout, and wrist wraps. Go to 999nutrition.com today to get yours. Thank you to 999 for sponsoring the TalkinTwenties Pod.
Now back to the episode.
Thank you to 999 Nutrition for sponsoring this episode of the TalkinTwenties Pod.
So, transitioning into the, TikTok scene, someone that's, blown up, recently, maybe the past couple months for some phrases he says, you got soft hands, brother, is trucker Uncle Rob.
Oh, isn't he the one that says, some kitty, some Emmy,
some gummy bear.
this running with the truck right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's him.
He's funny, dude. He's good.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He's great. He's a trucker. I had a family member that was a trucker for about 20 years, and you know what? Uncle Rob saying that he drives 1,800 miles a day is so fake.
That's ridiculous.
Even if he's an owner-operator, physically as a human, you can't, dude. You just can't. You know how much 1,800 miles?
I don't even know, how fast would you have to be going to even reach that in
a day?
Well, you can't drive for 24 hours straight.
So I'm saying physically,
there's no way. So let's just say he's driving for...
Even with bathroom breaks, food.
Let's just say he's on the road for 18 hours, right?
Good riddance.
How fast does he have to be going to reach 1,800? What was his record? I think he said 2,400 was his record in a day?
Yeah, maybe 2,400 in a week?
Yeah, in a day is ridiculous. Yeah. Uncle Rob, he interviewed another trucker, and the question was, how many miles did you do in a day? And the trucker that he was talking to, he said, about 300-400. Uncle Rob sighed and laughed. He said, 300-400, brother, that's before breakfast. Come on, doing 300 to 400 miles before breakfast.
You had to roll the dogs.
Yeah, that's like Sac to LA. That's like Sac to Dago.
Yeah,
before breakfast.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a bit, but you know what? He is a real trucker, and it's funny. I think he owns his own truck.
I think so. So yeah, he does.
But you still have to abide by regulations. So he can't work more than a 12-hour day technically.
But I'm sure things are lenient. I'm sure it's pretty easy to kind of squeak through the cracks of the system.
Yeah, because I know when it comes to big trucking corporations that are really law abiding. Yeah. Once you time out, your 8, 12, 14-hour days, you have to stop the truck where you're at. My family member multiple times got stuck on the side of the highway and had to wait for a company car to come get them ready. Hey, you know what? Trucking, it's hard. It's hard to have a good family relations.
Oh yeah, it's one of
you're either on the phone or at work.
It's a very underrated job in terms of difficulty.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. You got to manage. You're almost living two lives.
Yeah, and I've been in that. I've been in the big rig twice.
Yeah.
And
how was your experience in there? What was it like?
It was a 12-hour day.
Okay.
We went to Madera, which is in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
4 times one day.
One day, just back and forth.
Back and forth. So
okay.
So I went with my pops. It was 4 a.m. when we left to go to the yard.
Yeah.
Got back about 7, 6 that night. So but you know what? He used to run off just caffeine, really.
Wasn't that the story when you said you was the coldest you've ever been in your life?
Oh yeah, he had the windows rolled down while he was delivering the paper in the back, bro. Bay Area cold at
it's real.
7 a.m.
Oh yeah, it's no joke. Yeah,
I can imagine being in that water.
That ocean breeze hitting you.
Imagine being in that water.
Good riddance.
Yeah, back to trucking. It pays well. If you get a good schedule. And sometimes you do get a good schedule. My dad for years he used to have a schedule where he was home every night. That's you can't ask for much more. But hey, you know what? It's hard. You're working 5-6 days a week to have family time. Time with your kids. I mean, he made it happen. But for everyone, that's not a reality. There's different types of trucking. There's cross country trucking.
Oh yeah.
There's city to city trucking. There's overnight. I mean, I knew a kid. He was my friend growing up. His dad was in Ohio for a week.
A week?
A week. He used to have what are those called? he used to have like a billboard map.
Yeah.
Where he had a pen.
Okay.
You
So
know,
wherever his daddy traveled to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pen with different cities.
Okay.
It looked like some artwork I made in kindergarten. I ain't gonna lie.
So obviously, we've never driven a big rig, but what place, what state, maybe what city do you think would be the most difficult to
New York.
Yeah,
Easily.
I agree.
Easily.
It's
Have
so
you seen the
compact.
streets of New York?
Yeah.
Have you seen the dudes that cut up in traffic in New York?
Yeah, I don't
Easily.
I don't know how you can drive a big rig in New York. If you do that, it's very admirable. It's a very impressive.
Good
task.
for you. Shout out.
Considering how compact and flooded the roads are all the time.
Yeah.
So the trucks. I don't know if it's true or not, or if it's in every truck, but they all have the little talking system.
Oh, it is?
So where they can talk to their friends on the road.
Yeah, it's traditional. Okay, historically, yes. You
Oh yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a Rover over
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Whatever. But it's not like that really
It's not.
that much anymore. You have a telephone now. It's not. Back, Back then it was the 80s.
In
where
the
you're on-
glory days.
Oh man, yeah, it was lit.
About 06. Come on.
Hey, you know what? My pops used to do it, but if you go like this to a trucker, some will blow the horn. Others will not be happy that you were requesting that.
Oh, yeah. No, I could probably see that. I think trucking the glory days. I think probably the 2000s. I think those were.
Start.
Yeah, you got obviously trucking was a good era. Then you had like the NASCAR was popping off.
Oh yeah.
Different things like that. It was just time to be alive.
I just want to leave you, the viewer, with one final thing wrapping up. As someone who has been in the passenger seat of a big rig, driving through the Bay Area, what you need to do, honestly, is give them space. It takes way longer for them to brake and accelerate.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen on turns where they have to go way wide. Some truckers, they don't abide by the law, and they go so fast to where the trailer falls off.
Oh yeah, and they tip over.
Yeah. It is dangerous. You know what? I got a special message for anyone who's on one of those bikes, the little ninja motorcycles.
Yeah.
Bro, if you're cutting up in between a big rig and another car, you're just asking for
yeah.
trouble.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
They got to slow down or put regulations on them bikes.
Yeah, please
Those
be
things are
careful
crazy.
out there.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, I just wanted to talk about a story time with the MLB regular season coming up. Remember when we went to opening day?
Man, how could I forget? It was the Oakland A's final season in Oakland before they moved to Sacramento. So opening day was they had their first game. It was actually at Oakland in the Coliseum.
Against the Guardians.
Yeah. So I think first pitch was maybe about 7:05. I think set off. So our friend, they're big athletics fans. Their family is. So they invited us to go to opening day. So when I first heard about it, I thought, first of all, I don't even care for baseball as much. It's not my favorite sport.
It's my favorite.
Second of all, I'm not even an Oakland A's fan, but I figured 30 years from now, 40 years from now, I'll look back and say, I went to the Oakland Coliseum on opening day. So I figured, what's one night gonna hurt? That's what I thought. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna give the viewers a little bit of background. Keep in mind, at the time we were still in high school, we had a history teacher who was very serious. He treated it like a college class. We had I remember we had a study guide, right? For our exam, whatever. It was, 5 pages, and it was due. He gave it that day. It was two days later.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So we get out of school, 3:30.
I think it was a Thursday. I think.
Yeah. We head over. We go in said friend's car, and we drive to a BART station. Probably an hour away, 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
So we take the BART. Go to the stadium. It's cool. We took the BART, and I've been on the BART a few times.
Yeah. I think I might have been once prior to that, but I've never taken the BART directly to the Coliseum. So, going through Deep East Oakland at the time, it was maybe 5 p.m. The sun was already starting to go down. It was getting dark out, But there was a lot of A's fans, opening day. They had the sell the team, kind of protests outside. I think actually the fans weren't even going to buy tickets to the game. The fans were actually doing a thing to where they were going to, be in the parking lot the entirety of the game in protest to John Fisher. So when we pulled up, one of our friends, they had the idea of, let's not even go inside the stadium. Now,
that was dumbfounding to us.
Yeah, because I'm someone that, I didn't really care for the A's organization at the time. I didn't really know about, the beef and the protesting. So I thought...
I didn't know either.
So I thought, why did I just come all the way out here to sit in the parking lot in Oakland?
Keep in mind, we had that exam, the study guy was telling you about the very next day. So we're sitting there like, huh? Right now, because right now we're, 2 hours away from home. So we're just sitting there like, what? Go ahead.
Yeah, and then, and tickets, I think maybe were $20 each. They're cheap. So we ended up going inside the stadium, thankfully, We ended up going in. Our seats were pretty high, but, it was cool. It was nice to see the stadium. I've never been to the Coliseum before. But, man, I can see why they shut down and they moved out. If you walk through the concourse, it is just straight concrete. It almost looks like a jail, almost. I would say probably 85% of the, food stands, the concession stands, were closed. There was only a handful open. And the ones that were open were severely overpriced. I'm talking about, you want a hot dog and a drink, $30 easily. So yeah, the food was severely overpriced. So we only ended up getting a few things. I think we got hot dogs and some Cracker Jacks. But as we were on the way, back to our seats, there was some commotion, and the security, was running, saying, "Stop that guy! Stop!" We were like, "What's going on?" And we turn around. We see some dude who's running full speed, with things in his hands. He's running. I'm thinking, oh, shoot, what'd he do? So, lo and behold, because the prices were too high, he ended up breaking into the beer cabinet and stealing multiple cans of beer and running from security. So, I mean, first game ever at the Oakland Coliseum, that was a sight to see.
And what's crazy is that game ended up being a lopsided game. And I don't know, by then it was 10, and it was still like the 8th inning or whatever, 7th inning. And we wanted to get back because we had that study guide to do. Yeah. So we're practically begging, can we go, essentially. And, we head to the BART station. Keep in mind, we stayed the whole time. Then we head to the BART station. It's probably, 11 by then?
Yeah, easily.
We take the BART back to, I forgot what city we were in.
I think we took it to maybe Vallejo or Fairfield or something.
Yeah, maybe El Cerrito. Yeah. So then we take the BART back. Then we're driving back to our home city. And we're probably, 30 minutes away, I would say. And we stop at In-N-Out for food. In-N-Out's great, California staple, one of our favorites.
It's good.
We walk in. Keep in mind, at this point in time, after driving from the BART station another 40 minutes, we're probably at midnight now.
Yeah,
really,
and keep in mind, it was a school day, so we were up since probably 5:30, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's midnight now. We're multiple cities away from where we live.
We're still in the Bay Area, technically.
Yeah.
So you know what? We go into In-N-Out. We get whatever, our double, our food, whatever. Yada yada. We're sitting there. We're both exhausted. We've had a long day. We're sitting there, and in the back of my mind, I'm sure it was yours too. We got that study guide due tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So we go. We're sitting there eating. Out of nowhere, I hear the door fly open. I'm talking like boom! It was kicked open.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like, what the hell happened? Yeah. We turn. It's a mariachi band inside of the In-N-Out at midnight.
No joke. There was probably about 5 or 6 members. They had the trumpets, the tubas. There was a dude singing. It was so loud inside that place. I'm surprised the cops didn't get called.
The chairs were shaking.
Yeah.
So it was a good performance. They knew what they were doing. It was good. Solid. But at the time for us, it's like at this point after eating, it's 12:30. Some random city. We have school the next day. We have homework, and we're just sitting there. It's like, and that happened inside of In-N-Out.
Oh yeah.
I've never had that happen in In-N-Out to me.
No,
before.
It was crazy. It was almost like a dream.
So yeah. So then, we make it back to our home city. We get dropped off to our respective homes. That study guide's still there. So I remember this distinctly. It's been 3 years since the fact. I got home 1:30 a.m. in the morning.
Oh yeah.
No, I kid you not. 1:30. I remember this distinctly. 1:30. Guess how late I was up doing that study guide?
4 a.m.
4:30.
Come on now.
It was to the point where my mom came out twice begging me to go to sleep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but you couldn't.
Oh, dude,
if you
that
didn't turn
teacher
that
at
in,
that time, he was
good
cutthroat.
Good
I
riddance.
don't even have college teachers
Yeah.
like that.
If you didn't turn that in, or if your assignment was late, it's over. It's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. And don't forget about the time he went to AZ.
Oh,
Remember he
on
went to
bike.
AZ?
On bike. Come on now. He went to AZ on bike.
Dude, I remember. Keep in mind, it was our senior fun week. We had trips. 2 days are still left in school, and he goes, "You guys can show up. I'm going to AZ."
Oh yeah. For who knows what. I still have no idea why he went to AZ. But
Yeah, and he was a funny and engaging person, I will say.
yeah. He was solid.
Provided a lot of comical value to us.
No, he did. He was a
Fun class.
yeah. He was definitely a. I wouldn't say he was a personality because he wasn't, but he was more of more like a comical dude in the sense of
He had a very dry sense of humor, so
Yeah.
when he would say something that didn't really seem like a joke, he really was joking. He was very sarcastic.
Yeah.
But finishing up the A story. So, yeah, it was a very long opening day. I mean, it was cool to see, but
Yeah, it
very
was cool.
long.
Fun to look back on.
Oh yeah, something you remember for life.
And yeah, that wraps it up. Episode 7 of the TalkinTwenties Podcast, brought to you by 999 Nutrition. We hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next episode.